Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Yes. Interesting times. But you know what interesting times bring is times of understanding. And understanding brings a thirst for knowledge and wisdom. And so here we are. I did a video, which is on YouTube, concerning healing, the universal healing that's taking place. And I spoke of slavery, and I want to just speak a little bit more so it'll be clear what I'm saying concerning that video. And I'll put the link in the description box so that you can hear the first one. Slavery is not just about a color. Slavery has been created throughout time. There's been different colors, different races, I should say, and that's to edify those that are interested. It's not to take away from anything that's happening right now concerning protesting. The protesting is going to open up more understanding for us, and we will begin to see that there has been other cultures and races, as I said, that were a part of this, but also there had been, oppression concerning femininity, and there was a time when the male aspect was oppressed. So it's an interesting thing that, sometimes people believe that there's only one type of person, being race, ethnicity, culture, sex, that has been oppressed until they begin to study. And I always told, the people that I work with or teach that we study to show ourselves approved. That means that when times like this come, we can understand that there's a repeat of cycles. I mean, the Bible even tells you that, there is nothing new under the sun. This is Solomon. And so this is where wisdom comes in. And as we study, we gain knowledge and wisdom. So one of the things that I have found that is so interesting that many Americans that are, let me say that again. Many individuals that are born in America do not know that America is a corporation, like LLC. And if you didn't know, then you can look it up. The other thing is that if it's a corporation, then that means that it's a business, and so when you know that it's a corporation and it's a business that is affiliated and brought together to make money. And you can go back into the 1600s to, understand that there was a slavery type of composition or, work performance that was created, and it began to make money for certain people. And so over time, what was done is that people fought for freedom for those people, which were Black Africans that were brought here, Native, our natives, and then what happened is they began to get their freedom, and the work is still going on. And so now what the American leaders, the politicians, and those of the presidency had begun to do is look at how to structure America where it would be something that could continuously make money for them. And yes, I did say them. And so what happened after that was they began to reformat the model of the American dream, which began to give more work opportunities and laboring, and capitalism is what it was called and is called. And so with capitalism, that means that whatever is created for purchase, it would continue to inflate on prices over time in years, and the people of America would begin to purchase, but they would also begin to desire more. So when you desire more, then that means you gotta work more. And so there is a magic to the system. If you work more, then the magic begins to actually create problems, and that is in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, also in your family, in your communities, your cities and states, because the body has to get rest. So when I go back to some of the information that I gave in the pandemic, I brought up slavery, and the reason why we want to explain it is because anytime that you work a job, it is slavery, because you committed to working and making money for someone else. Now, that's not a bad thing, and it is, a concept, because it does bring money into, your household. But the idea of this is are you being paid for your worth or underpaid? Now, that's something to think about. The other thing is that some people that are working for other people actually are leaders that need to be leading. And the reason why they don't lead is because no one has told them that they have the ability or the qualities to lead. Now, what we're looking at in this time is a change and a shifting of the guards. And so that means that while everyone had, again, they were so interested in going back to work, my thing was I provoke thinking. I'm like the devil's advocate. I said, well, if no one went back to work, then what could they do? I mean, if no one went back to work, then that means that there would have to be a shift and a change in the money right then. But there were so many people that were afraid of, the mortgages being shut down, losing their business or where they constructed their businesses. And I would say this here, if 90% of America had just participated in the closure and they did not go back to work, I'm giving you food for thought, then they would not be able to put you out of your house. They would not be able to put you out of your business, because they would be losing money as well. Do you get my picture? It's hard to think outside of the box, right? But in order for anyone to get ahead, you got to think outside of the box, because this is the thing. If you keep thinking the way that you do or did, you're going to always be in the same position. Now, this is to a collective of people, because there's people that actually think out of the box. We understand what freedom is. And freedom is when you take a stand and you understand what the dynamics of America is built on. If it's built off of capitalism, that means that someone is capitalizing off of your money. Your money is being capitalized off of when you write a mortgage, you sign the line, because in the Federal Reserve, there's never any more than $5 to $10. And so that means that you got to look further. Money is actually energy. And I brought that up in the other video. Now, what you could do if you wanted to learn more is join in some of my group discussions, because they get the information like a full course meal. And what happens is that you would begin to get free, because you'll understand that if you're a leader, you really should be in the presence of leaders so that you can grow and believe in yourself and move forward. Why is it that most leaders are not growing? And we see leaders, yes, we do. We see them, but we also have some that we have not seen. And the Bible says that the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Now, I know that there's a lot of people that's been in seats that are supposed to be shifted out of those seats. And those that had not been seen are supposed to be sitting in new seats. Now, when freedom comes, that means again that the mind is liberated. Liberated from what? From thinking like they did in the past and doing what they did in the past. So, capitalism is capitalizing off of your health, your wealth, your family, the time that you spend away, all the extra energy you putting in to a job because you need to pay bills that others are capitalizing off of in that energy of your money. And you can never, ever get to the desired place because You started off creating bills like maybe your ancestors did, and you never knew what was really happening with the money system. And there is capitalism, because every time you spend on something, they're making money off of you. And of course, they're making money, right? But do you have to give all that money to them? And also, do you not look at the value of you and your family, your health, your wealth? I take us back to the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. See, we were coming out of oppression at a rate, because we're still experiencing it, but we're moving forward into another time that is greater for the well-being of the people. Now, when you look at that time, you can see a lot of people that were looking at money in a different way. Now, for more information, email me at ifwbuilders@gmail.com, because yes, I'm going to stop there, and then you join our meetings and you become a part, and you gain wisdom and you gain knowledge. We have a shadow class coming up on Wednesday this week. I think it's like around the 17th, and I'll put the description and information in the box. But anyway, you should be a part of that, because then you can also get to know all of you, the shadow, the dark side, and the light side. Be acquainted with your wholeness. And this is where illumination and liberation begins for each and every one. Imagine all of us illuminated and free of oppression, depression, and suppression. Imagine it. And recession, because we begin to understand the value of who we are and not just look at ourselves materialistic, and then we pull away from being capitalized on. How about that? Have a blessed evening, day, and I love you. Subscribe, share, and be blessed. Rise up in your leadership.